Well, we can't talk about social media in South Africa without acknowledging the hugely powerful cultural identity known as Black Twitter.
You know you're black if black moms be like, and
we're scared of getting dragged by Black Twitter.
Black Twitter is Twitter. It's a congregation, a community.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes,
you name it! Why you always lying?
The OG, cause it's never enough.
The collective voice known as Black Twitter is always on.
There's a corner of the internet that has always felt like a living, breathing digital community for Black people that we know as Black Twitter. Twitter emerged in the late 2000s as social media platforms began reshaping communication. Black Twitter was birthed within a few years of its launch. It wasn't a formal organization, a membership group, or even a clearly defined community. Instead, it was an organic cultural phenomenon where a network of Black users use humor, commentary, activism, and storytelling that transformed Twitter into one of the most influential cultural spaces on the internet. It's the way it functioned as a real-time town hall, cultural archive, and meme hub all at once, while also using collaborative humor to call out racism. From live reactions to award shows and television premieres, to amplifying social justice movements, to creating viral celebrities overnight, Black Twitter's ability to make people laugh through world and cultural events is why it's so iconic. Its influence became so undeniable that academics, journalists, and filmmakers began documenting its impact. In 2024, Hulu released the documentary series Black Twitter, A People's History. Over the years, Black Twitter has given the internet some of the most unforgettable viral moments, from legendary online beefs and internet threads, to social media mishaps, to real-world events that brought millions of people together in solidarity and humor. You guys know that I love to give you random Black history. So in this video, I wanted to take a look back at some of the most memorable moments in Black Twitter's history. Keisha Cole and her fish plates. The Keisha Cole selling fish plates joke is one of those classic Black Twitter drags that came from a mix of real controversy, plus internet exaggeration and Black community humor about falling off. The meme around Keisha Cole really started when she became known for being very outspoken on Twitter, especially when critiquing other artists, and Black Twitter tends to turn outspoken celebrities who have declined in popularity into running jokes if public opinion flips. During Beyoncé's 2013 Super Bowl halftime show reunion with Destiny's Child, Keisha tweeted, "I think I was frightened to blink for a second. Then Michelle sung and woke my ass up from my daze. She always f***ing up the groove." That tweet caused massive backlash because 1. Beyoncé was at peak world dominance. 2. DC3 is sacred territory. And 3. Michelle Williams already had a history of being unfairly clowned online, so Black Twitter started side-eyeing her. A few days later, still dealing with backlash, she tweeted, "Oh, and by the way, it's still f*** old girl lame ass," among other tweets. Later in 2013, Keisha criticized Beyoncé's song Bow Down / I've Been On, tweeting, "Can't stand when people all self-righteous when it's convenient. First women need to stick together, now better bow." Shaking my head. This made the Beehive go into full attack mode, of course. And historically, arguing with Beyoncé's fan base never goes well. And plus, Beyoncé is a beloved public figure, so Keisha was getting attacked from all angles. Black Twitter began joking about her career decline using a very specific online trope. When singers fall off, Black people joke that they'll end up selling plates at community events or outside concerts and award shows. They had already done the same thing to Love and Hip Hop and G-Unit artist Olivia in the past. The meme exploded when tweets started circulating like, "Keisha Cole selling fish plates outside the BET Awards right now." So anytime there was an award show on, for example, the Grammys, the hashtag Keisha Cole outside the Grammys would trend, clowning her as a has-been. And this went on for years, even still to this day low-key. The Pilgrim couple. But it's not just celebrities. Regular random users on the app would accidentally become the running gag as well. One of Black Twitter's most famous viral moments started with something completely innocent. appears simply posting a photo of themselves dressed up for a winter formal back in January 2015. Both individuals, known online at the time as @Quellium and @TickleBitties, shared photos of themselves posing confidently in coordinated outfits for the event. The woman wore a long forest green dress, while her guy friend paired a fitted button-up shirt, high-waisted bottoms, suspenders with a wide brim hat, fits that were very old-fashioned inspired. But as history has shown time and time again, posting online means opening yourself up to the court of public opinion, and Black Twitter wasted absolutely no time holding court. Within hours, the image began circulating far beyond their original post. Users across the platform began jokingly comparing the couple's outfits to historical figures and eras, with many tweets playfully suggesting they looked like they had stepped out of colonial America, slavery, or antebellum era portraits. The jokes range from lighthearted historical comparisons to fictional backstories, imagining the couples starring in period dramas or historical reenactments. Despite being the center of a viral roast, the two handled the attention like champs and joined in on the humor and laughed along with commentators. As the tweet spread, the photo officially entered Black Twitter meme history and still to this very day circles Twitter at least twice a year.
You guys remember the Meet Me in Temecula joint?
Oh, man.
This is one of the funniest moments in my life. Like, literally.
There was these two dudes on Twitter who got into a back and forth debate about Kobe Bryant.
And it gets so heated that the dude says that he wants to fight him.
Meet me in Temecula. But weeks before that photo took over Black Twitter, the entire timeline was closely following a beef that went a little too far. The phrase "meet me in Temecula" traces back to one of Black Twitter's earliest and most absurd internet beefs, which unfolded on Christmas Day in 2014. That holiday, two well-known Twitter personalities found themselves locked in an argument about basketball, specifically the legacy and performance of Los Angeles Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant. At the time, Kobe was entering the later years of his career, and debates about whether he was still an elite player were common across sports media and social media alike. Twitter user @SnottyDrippin publicly criticized Kobe Bryant's performance during a game against the Phoenix Suns, suggesting that the aging basketball icon was no longer the dominant player he once was. Another user @MyTweetsRealAF, whose real name is reportedly Dave, strongly disagreed. The sports debate quickly escalated into personal insults and got increasingly aggressive.
Russell Westbrook the best SG in the NBA right now.
This is pretty stupid.
The Spurs would be better without Whitewash Duncan.
And so is this. Idiot, sarcasm doesn't work when you're comparing a player who's hurting his team shooting 38% versus a 16-11 guy on a winning team.
During the heated exchange, @SnottyDrippin, whose real name is James, tweeted,
Let's go, loser. Temecula.
As a challenge to settle the disagreement through a physical fight. Instead of dismissing the threat, @MyTweetsRealAF took it seriously.
Loser? I bet I don't lose the fight. Laughs you in San Diego, right?
RT, if MyTweetsRealAF is not a real one on here. I'm real enough to meet and beat your ass. How's Temecula sound?
In an act that would ultimately cement the moment in internet history, David allegedly drove approximately 30 to 35 minutes from his home in Riverside, California, to the suburban city of Temecula on Christmas Day, fully prepared to engage in what he describes as fisticuffs. And he documented the road trip on the timeline. However, @SnottyDrippin was never actually in Temecula. He was in Arizona spending Christmas with his mother, and the confrontation never happened. By the time it became clear that the fight would not occur, the story had already spread rapidly across Twitter. Users began circulating screenshots of the exchange, and the phrase "meet me in Temecula" quickly became a viral meme, and the entire timeline found the entire thing ridiculous, yet hilarious. User @MyTweetsRealAF leaned into the viral attention by releasing a diss track aimed at SnottyDrippin over the instrumental of Lil Wayne's song "Believe Me."
Old school game like I played against the Pistons. I was playing my position. I was playing, I ain't pippin'. I was shooting for the misses. He was trolling for attention. I was rolling on the mission. We was knowing he was sipping. He pippin' for his millions, but he really diggy Simmons. That's the reason this was written.
In the wake of the beef, the guys did a few interviews of their own. In an interview with SB Nation, Jay James described the entire situation as ridiculous and surreal, saying he never expected a typical argument on Twitter to escalate into someone offering to drive over 30 minutes on Christmas just to fight over an NBA opinion. He treated the situation as an example of how seriously people can take online sports debates. He said, "Sad thing is, this is like the 5th time someone I've never met in real life tried to fight me because of Twitter. A Knicks fan offered to fly out to fight me after the Knicks beat the Celtics in that series." The antagonist also joined Huffington Post Live's Mark Lamont Hill to talk about the events. Meanwhile, when reporters told Kobe Bryant about the bizarre Temecula saga, he reportedly laughed it off and summed up the drama with a fitting response, saying, "Mamba Army don't f*** around."
Best ring bean casserole ever. I'm just eating. I'm chilling. I got my feet up. My toes is out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling in the house. And somebody's like, "Damn, you really about to go fight, bro?" And I'm like, "No, bro. I'm in Arizona."
That was me texting your ass.
Both men eventually moved on with their lives. The timeline cooled down, but the Temecula saga quietly became another legendary chapter in Black Twitter history and is always brought up every year on its anniversary.
Believe it or not, it's been 10 years since the greatest Christmas story that was ever told. Meet me in Temecula.
Atlanta rapper Gucci Mane launched into an epic Twitter tirade on Monday, slamming some of hip-hop's biggest names, including Drake, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, and Ciara. "Tell Drake he a true male groupie, I don't need you," one tweet read. "So Nicki, I didn't have you in ATL for 2 weeks, room rate $60 a night?"
Gucci Mane's Twitter rant. Another unforgettable Black Twitter moment happened in September 2013 when Gucci Mane logged on to Twitter and for several days straight went on one of the wildest tweeting sprees the platform had ever seen. Out of nowhere, Gucci started calling out a long list of artists and industry figures, including Nicki Minaj, T.I., Jeezy, Waka Flocka, and Tyga, accusing people, airing out industry drama, and posting unfiltered tweets in his very distinctive style.
Be a leader, not a crash dummy. They lie, 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 lie. Brainwashers. Y'all believe that. You stupid anyway. I can't rep Brick Squad. Every artist I bought a Brick Squad chain, let a nigga rob them for it. Every chain, pitiful, Brick Squad. Big Guwap never gets robbed. Guwap don't get robbed. All Brick Squad members been shot. Think about it. Everyone but the CEO. Big Guwap never got his chain stolen. Y'all following a blind lady. Go get you a dog or a flashlight. I bought all them chains for y'all to let a nigga take from y'all. Nicki Minaj, Keisha Dior, Taraji P. Henson, and Monica. That's a street nigga fantasy. I got 10K apiece. I'm horny. Everybody wear tennis skirts. Megan Good might be the only one who can change Big Guwap. I'll cut all these hoes off though for Megan Good. She can have all Guwap money. Wop. If I'm so crazy, why y'all wives sucking my deed? Wop. Now Big Guwap is putting his artists up for sale. I'm sucker free. Anybody want my artist? Listen, 500 for Scooter, 1 mil for Waka, 250 for Thug. Everybody else keep that lil money. I'm straight. Except Waka? No, I changed my mind. I'll keep Waka. Never mind. Waka included. Scooter 500K, Thug 250K, Waka 2 mil. Any trainers interested? I tried, but you faster than WAP. I gotta get in shape. I got 5K a week for a trainer. I prefer one with a fat ass.
The timeline exploded, and some people thought he had been hacked. Others thought it was promotion for a project. Many fans were genuinely concerned about his mental state. But Black Twitter did what it always does, react in real time. People were screenshotting the tweets, quoting them, trying to decode the punctuation, and turning the whole situation into a running commentary across the app.
I'm so mad, so upset, I was gonna apologize. I've been drinking lean for 43 years now.
At the time, a lot of outlets described it as a meltdown or a cry for help, especially considering Gucci's legal troubles and struggles during that era. And in hindsight, that period really did end the mark of that chapter in his life. Because what makes this story even more interesting is what happened after. Not long after that era, Gucci Mane stepped away, served his time, got sober, and completely reinvented himself. When he returned to the public eye in 2016, fans were shocked at his transformation. He rebuilt his brand, continued releasing music, mentored newer artists, and turned his story into one of hip-hop's most notable comeback arcs. And on Black Twitter, people still remember exactly where they were when Gucci started tweeting. Paula's Best Dishes. The hashtag Paula's Best Dishes isn't as innocent as it sounds. It emerged in 2013 during one of the most explosive celebrity racism scandals of the decade, involving celebrity chef and Food Network star Paula Deen. Paula, who built her brand on Southern comfort food, hospitality, and her hit television show Paula's Best Dishes, faced intense public backlash after reports surfaced that she had admitted to using the N-word and making racist and anti-Semitic jokes. The revelations came from a videotape deposition connected to a workplace discrimination lawsuit filed by her former employee Lisa Jackson. Even more disturbing to many observers were allegations that she had once expressed interest in hosting a plantation-themed wedding featuring black waiters dressed as enslaved people.
I told her at times I didn't have enough money to buy my own medication. We were sitting across the table, long table. And she said, it didn't reach me. And she said, here's $100. Go buy your medicine.
Whether or not she used racial slurs, you feel all this is true?
Yeah, she wanted Jello and I to dress like that as well.
At the wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like Paula Deen is racist in that way?
I do. I do.
Have you ever heard Paula Deen use the N-word?
I've heard her use the N-word. She say, I tell y'all niggers, that's what's wrong with y'all niggers now today.
Why are you coming forward now to tell your story?
Because they didn't give me what I deserve. They didn't give me nothing I deserve. Everything I got, I worked for it. Even my own co-workers think that I've been treated the best. They think I live in a mansion. And it's just time that everybody knows that Paula Deen don't treat me the way they think she treat me.
When the deposition details became public, outrage spread rapidly across news outlets and social media. As the controversy began dominating headlines, Black Twitter responded in a way that blended critique with satire. Twitter users Tracy Clayton, a writer at The Root, known online as Brokey McPoverty, along with user Pope Jeffus, helped spark the viral hashtag Paula's Best Dishes. The hashtag jokingly referenced her cooking show while inviting users to create sarcastic joke recipes that highlighted the racism allegations. Thousands of tweets flooded the platform, and the hashtag quickly climbed to the #1 trending topic on Twitter. Meanwhile, the fallout from the controversy had real-world consequences. Paula Deen lost major endorsement deals, television opportunities, and significant brand partnerships in the weeks following the scandal. Rachel Dolezal. Just 2 years later, Black Twitter would face one of the most bizarre racial controversies of the decade, giving them their new target. In 2015, Rachel Dolezal, the then president of the NAACP Spokane, Washington chapter, was publicly exposed by her biological parents as a white woman who had been presenting herself as black for years.
Is that your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad.
This man right here is your father? Right there?
You have a question about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I was wondering if your dad really is an African-American man.
That's a very, I don't know what you're implying.
Are you African-American?
I don't understand the question of, I did tell you that yes, that's my dad. And he was unable to come in January.
Are your parents, are they white?
Question, complex answer.
Are you an African-American woman?
I identify as black.
Rachel Dolezal, born white to white parents, explained in a live interview, even as a blonde-haired child, she identified with the black experience.
I was drawing self-portraits with the brown crayon instead of the peach crayon. That was how I was portraying myself.
The clip stunned the public and ignited immediate conversation across social media, news outlets, and civil rights circles. But once again, Twitter particularly Black Twitter, became the epicenter of the response. Rather than simply expressing outrage, users found the clip to be hilarious and created the viral hashtag #AskRachel, turning the controversy into a form of communal commentary. The hashtag functioned as a satirical Blackness quiz, where users jokingly tested Rachel's knowledge of shared African-American experiences. Tweets asked her to complete classic R&B and hip-hop lyrics, recall plot lines from shows like Martin, Good Times, and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and identify everyday traditions familiar to many Black households, from repurposing shopping bags as trash liners to the names of items.
So on Black Twitter, they were talking about she's transracial, which is like, I feel like I was born in this skin, but I should be in this skin. So there was a whole movement, she should be able to be transracial. Other people are transracial. There's like hashtag wrong skin, where people were saying that I was born in this skin, my parents are this, but I identify with that.
This week, Black Twitter has been on fire. The revelation that Spokane, Washington NAACP leader Rachel Dolezal has been pretending to be a Black woman for several years caught many off guard, except for her parents, who outed her as being white.
But as racial tensions intensified in the mid-2010s, things got weirder. Pepsi. Corporations and mainstream media repeatedly misunderstood Black social movements altogether and crossed racial boundaries. In 2017, Pepsi released a commercial starring reality television personality and model Kendall Jenner that attempted to portray a protest as a unifying feel-good experience to sell soda. The ad showed Kendall leaving a photo shoot to join a racially diverse group of protesters before ultimately diffusing tension with police by handing an officer a can of Pepsi. Almost immediately, Black Twitter recognized the imagery as a tone-deaf appropriation of real-life protest movements, particularly those connected to the Black Lives Matter movement. Users flooded the timeline with memes, critiques, and historical comparisons, pointing out how the commercial reduced decades of activism, police brutality protests, and racial injustice into a marketing aesthetic. The backlash was overwhelming, and within 24 hours, Pepsi pulled the commercial and issued a public apology, which was a clear demonstration of Black Twitter's influence and ability to hold global corporations accountable in real time. Christopher Dorner.
A high-stakes manhunt is intensifying in California as police scour the Los Angeles area in search of the man who allegedly killed 3 people in a revenge-motivated shooting rampage. But this is no ordinary manhunt. The man they are looking for was once a cop himself, armed, dangerous, and equipped with the same training as those tracking him. ABC's David Wright has the latest.
New images of fugitive Christopher Dorner taken by surveillance cameras. The trouble is, they were not taken today. This was 2 weeks ago in Irvine, not far from where Monica Kwan and her fiancé Keith Lawrence were murdered last Sunday.
The Christopher Dorner manhunt remains one of the most intense and controversial moments in modern Southern California history. In February 2013, the country watched the state's largest manhunt unfold. Christopher Dorner, a former LAPD officer and Navy reservist, declared what he described as a personal war against police corruption after being fired from the LAPD years earlier. Chris claims he had been terminated in retaliation for reporting excessive force by a fellow officer, allegations that resonated deeply within communities already grappling with long-standing concerns about police brutality. The case quickly escalated into national headlines when he was linked to a series of killings. On February 3rd that year, 28-year-old Monica Kwan and her fiancé were found dead in Irvine, California. Investigators later connected him to the attack, believing the killings were acts of revenge against individuals he blamed for his dismissal from the police force. Soon after, Chris released an online manifesto listing multiple LAPD officers and public figures he accused of corruption, while outlining his plans for retaliation. Days later, the violence continued. He allegedly ambushed police officers, killing one and wounding another. As the surge intensified, he fled into the San Bernardino Mountains, sparking a massive multi-agency pursuit involving helicopters, SWAT teams, and roadblocks stretching across Southern California and even extending into Mexico. While law enforcement agencies scrambled to locate Christopher Dorner, the unfolding crisis played out in real time across social media. There was a series of alarming mistakes by police. In the frantic effort to capture Chris, officers fired upon multiple innocent civilians driving pickup trucks that resembled his vehicle. 2 Hispanic women delivering newspapers were shot at, and Torrance police opened fire on a white man driving a similar truck. Miraculously, the victim survived.
There were 2 officer-involved shootings. They occurred within minutes of each other and within blocks of each other, and it now appears that both are cases of mistaken identity. Behind me, you can see out there in the distance a blue pickup truck out there. It is riddled with bullets. Now, LAPD officers were here overnight, and they were here to protect a fellow officer who lives in this area. We're being told he is a captain, and they worried that he could be targeted by Christopher Dorner. Well, this truck resembled the suspect's vehicle, and the officers opened fire.
It was nearly a catastrophic mistake. Inside that truck were 2 women on their daily newspaper delivery route. One suffered gunshot wounds to her back, the other shot in the hand. Both would recover.
Mistaken for a killer, during the manhunt for rogue ex-cop Christopher Dorner, a mother and daughter were out delivering newspapers. Well, suddenly they found themselves in the crosshairs of the LAPD. Tonight, KCAL's Chris Holmstrom speaks to them about the night that would change their lives forever.
Moments later, just a few blocks away, Torrance police, responding to the first shooting, spot a dark-colored pickup leaving the scene. Believing the vehicle may be Dorner's, they fired at the driver.
Just starting to wake up, and all of a sudden I hear a bam, 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 and then a big bang.
The driver was not hit. Later, millions of dollars in legal settlements would be paid out to the victims of both these shootings.
It was during this period that social media users began using dark humor as a way to process fear and critique law enforcement behavior. The phrase, "Don't shoot, I'm not Chris Dorner," quickly spread across Twitter and Facebook, evolving into a viral meme. Images circled showing people holding handwritten signs on their cars and wearing the t-shirts with similar messages. At the same time, his story sparked another controversial online phenomenon. A small but vocal group of supporters began portraying him as a whistleblower or anti-corruption figure. Many users condemned the violence and loss of life, but at the same time, Chris's manifesto ignited widespread discussions about systemic racism and corruption within policing institutions, and he gained a bit of a fan base. Facebook pages and online forums dedicated to Chris gained thousands of followers. The saga ultimately ended on February 12, 2013, when law enforcement cornered him inside a remote mountain cabin. After a standoff, the cabin caught fire, and authorities later recovered his remains. In the aftermath, his case left behind more than headlines, and his image is widely used on social media by people to express their opposition of American police and corruption.
They need to know that we're paying attention, and they need to know that there's a limit. They need to know that people will come together like they do, and that's why I'm here. Like, people have been telling this story already, you know, so when people talk about Chris Dorner and how he went too far, like, people have already written books, people have already written letters, you know, these are grown people functioning in society. They're not criminals, you know, and they get kicked out of the LAPD and they make a life for themselves somewhere else. So how are these bad people?
Shaking in the orange
This
room.
was big yesterday. Rapper, reality TV star Bow Wow became at the center of a social media storm. He posted this picture. Now, here's Bow Wow. He also goes as Shad Moss. Here's the picture that we saw yesterday on Instagram. Looks like he got off his car, went into his Gulfstream 5 there, and he wrote, "Travel Day, NYC press run for growing up hip-hop." It's like he's going to promote a show. Let's go. That's what he posts, okay? Then we see this post. This is a user on Snapchat. That's Bow Wow right there, and he writes, "So this guy, Lil Bow Wow, is on my flight to New York," but on Instagram, he posted a picture of a private jet captioned, "Traveling to New York today, shaking my head."
Oh.
This story goes one step further. Leave it up to the internet to drill down deeper. They do a reverse Google search on the picture that he posted initially. What do they come up with? That's lifted from a Florida-only transportation company.
Oh.
Wow. That's the same shot right there.
The Bow Wow Challenge. Flex culture refers to the online practice of displaying wealth, success, and luxury as a form of social currency. Private jets, designer clothing, exotic vacations, luxury cars, and VIP access became visual shorthand for success. The more extravagant the lifestyle appeared, the more influence a celebrity or influencer seemed to hold. But celebrities have been exposed for fake flexing, thanks to hyper-observant digital detectives. And Bow Wow's 2017 private jet controversy became one of the most iconic examples. The Bow Wow challenge was born when he posted an Instagram photo showing a luxury private jet, implying he was traveling in a high roller fashion. By this time, his career wasn't what it was 15 years prior, and court records said he wasn't bringing in much income. The illusion quickly unraveled when a passenger on the commercial flight Bow Wow was actually taken snapped a photo of him sitting in coach and posted it online. The internet wasted no time connecting the dots by finding the photos on Google, and the embarrassment went viral almost instantly. Social media users began roasting Bow Wow by creating the hashtag Bow Wow challenge, a meme format centered around the art of exaggeration versus reality. The challenge encouraged users to post side-by-side images, one portraying an aspirational, glamorous, or fake lifestyle, and the other revealing the far more relatable or humorous truth. Ironically, Bow Wow himself eventually leaned into the joke, acknowledging the meme.
Beatings, stabbings, and even car crashes, people behaving very badly in Los Angeles and across the country for that fact, trying to get their hands on Popeye's chicken sandwich. In LA, 2 people wrecked their cars trying to get to the sandwich that is fueled by a social media craze.
Popeye's sandwich. When Popeyes quietly introduced its fried chicken sandwich on August 12, 2019, it was meant to be a competitive but fairly routine product launch. But something unusual happened. Before the company even pushed a full national campaign, Black Twitter had already adopted the sandwich into everyday online conversation, remixing it into jokes, commentary, and food discourse. According to Angela Brown and Randy Romero, the social strategists behind the Popeyes Twitter account, the buzz wasn't manufactured by marketing teams. It was grassroots internet culture at work. The viral momentum translated into real-life chaos. Lines wrapped around buildings, and drive-thrus turned into gridlock. The demand grew so intense that Popeye sold out of sandwiches nationwide within 2 weeks, despite originally ordering enough supply to last through September.
Much like on a front line, like being in a war.
It's a war of the chicken sandwiches, and people have literally been lining up around the block at Popeye's locations to figure out which side they're on.
Because it's a sandwich, you gotta try it. It's social media right now just booming, so you wanna be with everyone.
Popeye's rolled out their new chicken sandwiches in July, but a competitive Twitter exchange with Chick-fil-A last week sparked the question, who has the best chicken sandwich?
I'm trying to see what the hype is about. Look at the line. Have y'all been to Chick-fil-A? What they line look like?
It's closed on Sunday.
What? They don't want no money.
Yes, all this over a battered chicken breast, a couple pickles, and some bread. Popeyes launched it about 2 weeks ago, and for some reason, it snowballed into social media debates.
It's insane. This Popeyes craze has America going crazy.
There's online polls.
It's viral.
The fast food companies are roasting each other on Twitter.
This is really good marketing because the lines are crazy.
And the lines, they really are crazy.
Goes back all the way over there.
I thought the line would be a little shorter, but I guess not. But I'm willing to wait though.
And so was everyone else, until the regional manager dropped a bombshell.
Henderson is telling us that we're going to be fined a lot of money if we don't close down. We need to have security out here. The neighbors, Wendy's, Wenco, are complaining of the disturbance of the cars lining up all the way through their properties. So we're going to have to shut down.
It's the latest food craze hitting the country, but if you didn't jump on Popeye's chicken sandwich craze, you're already too late, because Popeye's apparently saying for now, they're sold out of chicken.
The sandwich became a full-blown social phenomenon. Listings appeared online offering the sandwich for thousands of dollars. Customers drove across state lines searching for locations that still had them in stock. One man even filed a lawsuit accusing Popeyes of false advertising after failing to find the sandwich at multiple restaurants. And then the story took a darker turn. When Popeyes relaunched the sandwich in November that year, the hype returned stronger than ever. But all hell was breaking loose across the country as the chicken sandwich frenzy spiraled beyond long lines and social media. Crowds overwhelmed restaurants nationwide. Fights broke out between customers, and employees struggled to keep up with demand.
The wait is over. The Popeyes restaurant chain has finally brought back the chicken sandwich. Fans are lining up to get it. They have been waiting months to taste it. Was it worth the wait? Diane McInerney gives it a taste test.
It's the lunch meal of choice across America today. The now famous Popeyes chicken sandwich returned to the menu after a 2-month absence, and there was a lunchtime mob scene to get one. Evelyn and myself are going to taste the famous chicken sandwich for the very first time together. 1, 2, 3. It is so good. Really good. These students couldn't wait to have a bite.
Fantastic. Amazing.
Lines went out the door.
I'm willing to follow the hype.
The sandwich debuted last August, but lasted for just 2 weeks before the company ran out of the chicken fillets. But now Popeye says it's back for good. Cheers, Evelyn.
In Ellenton, Florida, 2 men were captured on video brawling in the middle of a Popeyes drive-thru lane, holding up traffic as stunned customers watched the fight unfold. In Edgewood, Maryland, another viral video showed a large group of customers throwing punches inside the restaurant as employees struggled to maintain control of the packed location. In Harlem, New York, tensions boiled over when one man erupted into a screaming tirade at staff members, furious over what he felt was an unacceptable wait time for his order of 10 chicken sandwiches. Meanwhile, in Tallahassee, Florida, the stress of overwhelming demand pushed employees past their breaking point. Workers reportedly turned on each other in a heated altercation that spilled outside the restaurant, shocking customers already waiting in a massive line. Tragically, one altercation outside of a Maryland location ended in a fatal stabbing during a dispute over line cutting.
Hey, look, county jail's chicken sandwich is way worse than this, so don't do this kind of thing. We've told you about how popular the Popeyes chicken sandwich is. A sign here on the door says it all. Be right back. They don't have any chicken sandwiches. But you know what? Apparently, one group went inside the store asking for the sandwich. They were told no. The customer became so angry, he actually pulled out a gun. Police say there were 5 adults who came in. They also had a baby with them. They walked into the store around 9 o'clock last night to order chicken sandwiches. No big deal, right? Well, the thing is, the manager explained they don't have any chicken sandwiches, that they were all sold out. Then things got way out of hand. One of the guys had a gun. He wasn't taking no for an answer. Police say he turned violent and pulled that gun.
Hey, break that up. A brawl inside a Milwaukee restaurant involving employees.
Little did one Milwaukee man know he was in for quite the showdown when he visited Popeyes earlier this week. Once inside, he witnessed not 1, not 2, but 3 fights, pulling out his cell phone just in time to capture some of the commotion.
He was stabbed to death outside of a Popeyes in Maryland Monday night, and police believe it was over a chicken sandwich. This all happened around 7 p.m. when a fight allegedly started inside the Popeyes and spilled out into the parking lot. That's where the man was stabbed. Authorities say the fight began while the 2 men were waiting in line specifically for Popeye's new chicken sandwiches.
Despite the controversy, the marketing impact was undeniable. Analysts estimated that the viral sandwich debate generated roughly $65 million in equivalent media value for Popeyes, all driven primarily by social media. The brand itself openly credited Black Twitter for its success, and Saturday Night Live also parodied the craze later that year.
Students at Howard University are protesting for the 6th day in a row, occupying the school's administrative building. The group HU Resist is leading the protest. It started after an anonymous blog post alleged that nearly $1 million in financial aid money was misused. The university acknowledged that it launched an investigation and subsequently fired 6 employees, but students say school officials should have been more transparent. One student who has been caught up in this scandal says he is innocent.
From the campus student housing crisis to the current financial aid embezzlement scandal, they've said they've had enough.
You guys plan on staying here all night if it takes
Yeah, we'll stay here all weekend. We've broken up into different groups on different levels.
HBCU swindler. In 2018, social media exploded with allegations surrounding Tyrone Hankerson Jr., a Howard University law student who quickly became known online as the HBCU swindler. The controversy began after an anonymous Medium post accused Tyrone of embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars from Howard University's financial aid office. The post alleged widespread mismanagement within the department, claiming over $1 million in student aid funds, with him personally accused of misappropriating carrying approximately $430,000. Although the Medium post was eventually taken down, screenshots and rumors had already spread like wildfire across Twitter. Users quickly connected the allegations to Tyrone's social media presence, which featured images of designer bags, luxury clothing, lavish vacations, and high-end dining experiences.
The reason why Tyrone's trending on social media? Because so many people are saying he blew his cover by flexing on the gram. He also blogged about his love of the high-end fashion. So many people chiming in online about whether his expensive fashion taste is directly connected to the nearly $1 million financial aid scam. This former classmate noticed it before it even became a trending topic.
You know, a lot of his recent pictures, he had on mint coats with the fur. He had on, the Balenciagas, the Louis Vuitton, all the expensive stuff, and I would see the pictures and stuff, but I would never question it.
Since a whistleblower published Tyrone's name and made it a trending topic, he's taken down those bragging posts and disappeared from social media altogether.
The optics were impossible for the internet to ignore, especially given that the alleged funds were meant to support financially vulnerable students at one of the nation's most prestigious historical Black colleges and universities. Tyrone's luxury persona and pics sparked an avalanche of memes. One of the most widely circulated images showed him leaping in the air, and the image quickly became meme fodder.
Did you get into this Howard University financial aid scandal swirling around stunt queen of the year, Tyrone Hankerson? Who is in charge of the girls? Is Tyrone in charge of the girls? Tyrone is in charge of the girls.
Tyrone Hankerson publicly denied the allegations, stating he had not embezzled any funds and that the viral accusations had upended his life. In interviews, he described facing harassment and safety concerns as the story spread online.
Did you embezzle that money?
No, I have never embezzled any money, nor have I embezzled any money from Howard University particularly.
What were you doing? What was your response?
When the article dropped, I was doing work and I was in tears. I mean, it was a very unfortunate situation because I immediately became inundated with all of these messages, alerts, things. I have been constantly harassed since the moment that the article came out.
Tuesday, Wednesday? Things are misleading. And does he do fashion stuff? Yeah, but when is that a crime? I didn't know posing with new suits on and shoes on was a crime. And particularly at Howard, where it's a fashion show, I didn't know that was a crime.
Meanwhile, Howard University confirmed there had been financial aid mismanagement within the department between 2007 and 2016, resulting in several employee firings and promises of institutional reform, though the full scope of responsibility remained unclear. Tyrone and his attorney announced their plans to sue the school for leaking his financial records, allegedly for $10 million. But that's the last we heard about him. Navy. In 2017, a single typo from Yahoo Finance triggered one of the most unexpectedly hilarious viral moments in social media history. While attempting to tweet a story about President-elect Donald Trump's plans to expand the U.S. military fleet, Yahoo intended to publish the headline, "Trump wants a much bigger Navy. Here's how much it'll cost." Instead, a catastrophic typo replaced the B with an N, accidentally changing the word into a racial slur. The tweet remained live long enough, roughly 20 minutes, for screenshots to spread across Twitter at lightning speed before Yahoo deleted the post and issued an apology, calling it a simple spelling error. But by then, the damage and the comedy had already been done. Almost instantly, Black Twitter seized the moment, flipping shock into satire through the viral hashtag #Navy. Users imagined a fictional Black naval force using pics of celebrities in army fatigue, memes, and elaborate jokes about what such a fleet might look like if it truly existed. Some users joked that if Black America had its own Navy, All Lives Matter supporters would suddenly be left to fend for themselves. At the same time, the viral moment sparked backlash from some white social media users who accused Black Twitter of being racist for engaging with the hashtag. The criticism, however, only fueled further commentary. Many users pointed out the irony of outsiders attempting to police how Black community process and reclaim language historically weaponized against them. In January 2020, global anxiety spiked after reports confirmed that a United States drone strike killed the Iranian general and also killed the militia leader. Officials quickly warned of escalating conflict, with speculation about retaliation, and even the possibility of a Third World War dominating news cycle. And Black Twitter processed the moment in an entirely different way. Memes began circulating almost instantly, imagining everyday Black Americans being drafted into war scenarios they were hilariously unprepared for. 21 Savage detained by ICE.
News today, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has taken Grammy-nominated rapper 21 Savage into custody. ICE says the rapper is a UK resident living in the U.S. illegally. The rapper has long said he's from Atlanta, but ICE says he moved to the U.S. as a teen, and his entire public persona is a fake. He was taken into custody in a sting operation early yesterday morning.
There has been quite a few shocking moments in the history of Black Twitter, but the shocking revelation that Atlanta rapper 21 Savage was British was a little different. In February 2019, fans were stunned when U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested the Grammy-nominated rapper, whose real name is Shia bin Abraham Joseph, during what initially appeared to be a routine detainment. Authorities revealed that the artist, widely embraced as a product of Atlanta's East Side rap scene, had actually been born in the United Kingdom and allegedly overstayed a visa he entered the United States with as a child.
I've ever come across. 21 Savage was arrested for being from the UK.
For many fans, the news felt surreal. Since emerging in 2015, 21 Savage had built his identity around gritty storytelling rooted in Atlanta street life. So to suddenly learn he was technically a British citizen felt like a plot twist no one saw coming. Within minutes of the news, Black Twitter erupted, first with confusion, then concern, and eventually with a wave of humor about his nationality. Memes flooded timelines imagining 21 Savage adopting exaggerated British stereotypes. Users photoshopped the rapper holding cups of tea, standing beside Buckingham Palace guards, or speaking in refined British slang.
Boom. Hop out the 4-door with the 440 was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chilling in the corridor. Your dad is 44, and he's still calling man for a draw. Let him know, when I see him, I'm gonna spin his jaw. Take my kicks by force. Send my shot by force. Your girl know I got the force. No ketchup, just sauce. Raw sauce.
Good evening, ladies and gents. You are with 21 Savage, aka the Saint Laurent Don. And tonight we're gonna be going to the Saint Laurent show. It's gonna be exquisite. I just flew Vogue in from over there on my helicopter. So they're gonna be tagging along. I feel vibrant, elegant, exquisite. I would probably wear this jacket on my way to have tea and crumpets on a beautiful Monday morning.
Even pop singer Demi Lovato, who was recovering from a near-death overdose, returned to social media just to laugh at the memes, which she was widely criticized for. Rapper Wale checked Demi and reminded her of the outpouring love and support she received during her recent public tribulation, writing, "Why is somebody's freedom funny? I don't get the joke. A lot of people were sending you love, light, prayers, etc. when people were making jokes about you at a rough time. A lot of people. Bless up."
Demi Lovato deactivates her Twitter account amid backlash over her comments about 21 Savage.
Yeah, Doggy today for Monday, February 4th goes to Demi Lovato. Now, if you haven't heard, my guy, the young king 21 Savage, was arrested by ICE yesterday. Yes, ICE. That ICE. Okay, because they said 21 Savage is actually from the UK. You can't pick and choose what energy you get back once you put a certain energy out there. You can't laugh at someone else's misfortune and then tell people they can't laugh at yours.
Despite the jokes, there was an unmistakable layer of solidarity beneath the humor. Many users quickly pointed out the larger immigration conversation surrounding the arrests, questioning why a rapper who had lived in America since childhood and contributed heavily to American culture and music could face deportation. 21 Savage was detained without bail, forcing him to cancel appearances at the Grammy Awards, where he had been nominated twice for his contribution to Post Malone's smash hit Rockstar. Fans anticipated the ceremony would become a moment of public support for the rapper, but controversy erupted when Post Malone performed the song and omitted 21 Savage's verse entirely. Though he wore a shirt honoring the rapper beneath his jacket that nobody saw, but fellow artists voiced their support during the ceremony.
Nominated for 2 awards.
Song 21 Savage, it should be here tonight.
The jokes continued circulating, and hashtag Free21Savage trended alongside memes. In the end, 21 Savage was released from ICE custody after several days, and Black Twitter was responsible for making this the biggest news story during that period. Zola. One of the most legendary and frankly unbelievable moments in internet storytelling arrived in 2015 when a young Detroit waitress and dancer named Asia King, better known online as Zola, quickly stopped the timeline with what would become one of the most iconic viral threads in social media history. On October 27th that year, Asia logged on and casually detonated the timeline tweeting, "Y'all wanna hear a story about why me and this here fell out? It's kind of long, but full of surprise." What followed was a 148 live tweeted crime saga. Zola recounted a crazy Florida road trip with Jessica's boyfriend Jared, and a pimp known as Z. According to Zola, she met another dancer named Jessica while working at Hooters in Detroit. After bonding over dancing and quickly forming what seemed like a genuine friendship, Jessica invited Zola on a spontaneous trip to Florida, promising easy money dancing in Tampa clubs. It started as an exciting girls' getaway, but then it quickly took a dark turn when Zola discovered that Jessica's mysterious companion, later revealed to be her pimp, had posted her in online escort ads without her consent. There were strip club hustles, violence, a near-fatal window jump, and escalating tension. One of her most quoted lines was, "That n***a was lost in the sauce, and that bitch was lost in the game." The thread quickly became a global phenomenon, and the hashtag #TheStory trended worldwide on Twitter. Even celebrities were live reacting like everyone else. The internet responded the only way it knows how. There were think pieces, fake movie trailers, and casting debates. Her following count skyrocketed overnight, and major outlets rushed to secure interviews with Asia as the threat continued to dominate timelines. Publications including Rolling Stone and the Washington Post dug into the story, interviewing her and verifying key details of the wild weekend she described. In those follow-ups, Zola maintained that the core events of the thread were true. However, she later clarified that at least one of the most cinematic details had been embellished. Jared's pants did not get caught on a railing during his jump from the motel balcony, sparing him from certain death. She admitted it was added for storytelling.
You want to hear a story about how me and this bitch here fell out?
It's kind of long, but it's full of suspense. I'm the real Zola, and this is my new book, The Story, also known as The Thodacy.
The cultural impact of the thread eventually caught the attention of powerhouse indie studio A24, the same company behind critically acclaimed films like Moonlight, Lady Bird, and Hereditary. The studio brought in filmmaker Janixa Bravo to adapt the viral tweets into a screenplay, with Asia credited as an executive producer of the film. The result was the 2021 surreal film Zola, which premiered to critical buzz and earned award nominations at events like the Sundance Film Festival and recognition at the Palm Springs International Film Festival. The film became one of the first major motion pictures adapted directly from a Twitter thread. Critically, the film was well received, earning an 88% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Have any famous people, celebrities reached out to you and been like, wow, I can't believe this, I've been touched by the story?
Absolutely, ever since the tweets actually, ever since, day one, I've gotten Solange, Erykah Badu, Missy Elliott.
Really? What did they say? What are some of the things?
For me to keep writing, that I am born basically to be a writer, that I'm confident in the way I speak, and the way that I write is very unique.
Who would you like to work with in Hollywood on your next project? Who are some of the names you'd like to work with?
I don't know. Somebody called Johnny Depp. Woo! Yeah.
At the 37th Film Independent Spirit Awards, Zola led the pack with 7 nominations, including Best Feature, Best Director, and Best Female Lead for Taylor Page, who stars as Zola herself. In 2022, Asia publicly called out the film's production team after feeling sidelined during awards season. While she was credited as an executive producer on the film, she was not nominated in the screenplay category, which instead recognized the credited writers. Even years later, the Zola thread remains a defining moment in Black Twitter history. Then finally, we have the Alabama River Brawl. On August 5, 2023, a dockside altercation in Montgomery exploded into one of the most viral moments of the decade. Around 7 p.m., the city-owned riverboat Harriet II was returning from a cruise with over 200 passengers when it was unable to dock at its designated riverfront park space. A privately owned pontoon boat was moored in the slip typically reserved for the riverboat. For approximately 40 to 45 minutes, the Harriet II crew attempted to contact the pontoon boat's operators, making repeated public address announcements asking them to move. According to the riverboat's captain and co-captain, the boaters were uncooperative and responded with dismissive gestures. Eventually, co-captain Damian Pickett and a 16-year-old deckhand went ashore to address the obstruction. An argument escalated when a white man shoved and then assaulted Damian, leading to a fight. The teenage deckhand was also punched while attempting to intervene. As tensions grew, additional altercations broke out along the dock. A black teenager was filmed swimming across the river to assist. When the Harriet II finally docked, more crew members and bystanders became involved, resulting in multiple scuffles, and all hell broke loose. Within hours, dozens of cell phone angles flooded timelines. The Montgomery Riverfront brawl quickly topped news stories across all platforms and social media. It became a communal spectacle with online users creating play-by-play commentary, parody reenactments, and memes comparing the incident footage to superhero team-up scenes.
Let's get ready to rumble!
The greatest fight in the history of fights. That's the only fight that started a civil rights movement, nigga. The white people got the shit beat out of them.
Others focused on symbolic moments within the footage, like the hat toss, and especially the now iconic folding cheer, which became a centerpiece of the brawl. For weeks, the incident dominated timelines and also low-key turned into a race war. And that brings us to the end of one of the greatest sagas in Black Twitter history. Even though most of everything I discussed in this video was jokes, Black Twitter always knew when it was time to get serious and come together as a community for social causes. When injustice happened, the timeline shifted and movements gained traction there. People organized, shared information, raised awareness, dragged corporations, demanded accountability, raised bail funds, boosted GoFundMes, amplified missing person cases, amplified voices that mainstream media ignored, and pushed conversations that eventually reached the real world, and the timeline refused to let stories disappear. That balance of humor, commentary, and cultural influence is what makes Black Twitter one of the most powerful forces on the internet. What are some of your favorite moments in Black Twitter history? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe to BFTV for more content.